What is up, and I welcome each and every one of you back to a brand new video. I hope you're all having fantastic days, and if not, hope I can make your day just a little bit better. We are back at it again, looking at the top 5 map and leader synergies. What I mean by that is what leaders work best with this kind of map. If I put the leader on this kind of map, he is guaranteed to always win without a doubt. But before we get started, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and did I tell you guys to subscribe? Because that is something you should definitely be doing. It does help me out a ton. And without further ado, let's get started with our number 5 spot. We got Teddy Roosevelt on an impenetrable map with a new world age. Now what this does is it makes the map have more hills, mountains, and volcanoes, and the ridges, making it mountain ranges broader, so there will be more mountains strung along together, which is great for Bull Moose Teddy because with his unique ability, he gets 2 science for breathtaking tiles adjacent to a mountain, and since there's going to be plenty of mountain ranges strung along together, you will have plenty of breathtaking tiles, plenty of mountains, and even a few woods tiles nearby to give you some extra culture. With this and spawning near mountain ranges, Teddy will have a massive start in the early game to get science. You beeline writing, you get libraries, and you just never look back. You could dominate science with this strategy. Yeah, it's pretty much how everything's going to go. It's going to be different map types, different settings, and I will talk about the different leaders if you guys were confused about how the structure of the video was working. But yeah, it's pretty much all I have to say about Teddy. All those mountains will give him plenty of breathtaking tiles for extra science and potentially even culture, which definitely makes him one of the best civs in the game, not just on this map type. But at the number 4 spot, we have Peter of Russia. If I can find him, obviously. Peter of Russia on a cold map. Let's put everything back to standard. Classic. It's on a cold map with the Apocalypse game mode setting on. Now, this right here is something that is absolutely insane on Peter. With the cold map, you will have plenty more tundra to settle. With all the tundra, the only person who's really going to want to settle the tundra is Peter, so you don't really have to compete for different city spots. And having it on disaster difficulty 4 and Apocalypse mode means that you will, yes, you will be dealing with blizzards everywhere, which does absolutely no damage to Russia. However, if an enemy civ declares war on you, blizzards in Russian territory does double damage to different units who are at war with Russia. That is absolutely insane. You will not only have more cities, you won't really have to deal with Apocalypse mode as much until the end of the game when the meteors start coming down, because when you're in the tundra, you're not going to have floodplains, you're not going to be in the desert, you're not going to be near the coast, you are going to, the only natural disaster you will have is blizzards, which rarely has an effect on Russia. I think your tiles can get pillaged from it, so you might need a builder or two to keep repairing some stuff. But hey, go for coal power plants, go for oil power plants. Somebody declares war late game, let them come. There will be blizzards every few turns, absolutely destroying everybody. I mean, my god. Peter on disaster difficulty 4 and with a cold type of map will mean that he is damn near unkillable, just like Russia in real life, aside from the Genghis Khan Mongolians. But now we have number 3. We got the series I'm doing right now, which you should definitely go check out, by the way. It's on my channel, newest videos. It's on the uploads. Go check it out. We got Vietnam, led by Batrio. If I can find her. Batrio in a wetlands map. With a, not world age, with, where is it again? Temperature, yes, with, not temp, what am I saying? With a wet map mode, a wetlands Batrio. Now, how does this work? The wetness will make it with the map have more woods, rainforest, and marshes, and the wetlands are just, in general, a map mode that is flooded with marsh, extra woods, floodplains, and forests. So pretty much, this map is going to be filled with jungles, woods, and marshes. Well, if you would look here on Batrio's unique abilities, all districts can only be built on rainforest, marsh, or woods, and you receive extra yields for building on these features, and woods can be planted with medieval fairs, not to mention that the drive out the aggressors gives you extra combat strength on woods, rainforests, and marshes. Extra movement speed if they begin their turn there. That's pretty interesting. And both these bonuses are doubled if the tile is in your territory. That is peculiar, which means Batrio on this map mode is literally unkillable. You will consistently have 4 movement speed and 30 combat strength warriors. You will consistently have extra culture, science, and production from building districts. You will have much more room to place districts because you can only place them on these special tiles, and having more of these special tiles means more variety for placing districts, as well as combining it with a Thon, which can easily give you double-digit culture and tourism later on in the game, makes Batrio one of the top civs in the game in general, but you do these maps, and she is pretty much Thanos. Now we're going to move on to number 2. Number 2 is one that is super duper fun, and it is Menelik II on a, again, same thing, a New World Age, just pretty much New World Age Menelik with Secret Societies game mode enabled. Now, Secret Societies, why do we have that game mode enabled? Well, the, not Owls of Minerva, the Void Singers have a medieval era policy that turns 20% of your faith into culture, science, and gold, I believe, or something like that. Well, Menelik, if you settle a city on hills, you will get 15% of your faith to culture and science, and they stack, by the way, which means on a New World map with super many mountains, you will have consistently 30 to 40% extra science, culture from your faith, and you have so many ways to gain faith. You have Axomete Legacy giving you extra faith from trade routes and tiles. You have the Rock-Hewn Church, which can easily give you 5 to 6 faith per unique tile improvement that will become tourism later on. You can use this massive amount of faith to buy Archaeological Museum and Archaeologists. You can use the science to keep up and go get the computer's technology, which is very important for a culture victory. And you can use the extra faith to get more culture, which will give you more envoys and obviously more tools to get a culture victory, as well as quicker access to wonders for you to build towards a culture victory, which is what you should be doing as Menelik. Now, it's so strong. This is number 2 for a reason. You do the Secret Societies, you do the New World map, you will have no problem blitzing through the tech and civic tree, and the Rock-Hewn Church's late game, which can only be built on hills, by the way, which the New World Age gives us access to more hills, means that you will have a massive amount of faith and tourism late game from pretty much doing absolutely nothing, which is why Menelik is at number 2. Before we get to number 1, let's do an honorable mention. The honorable mention right now is going to be Mansa Musa of Mali. Again, I have to find these guys. Mansa Musa of Mali on a temperature map, on a hot temperature map. The reason he isn't higher on the list is because the temperature map is going to make more desert, but it isn't going to take away from the regular tiles. It's going to reduce the tundra and snow, so it doesn't really, it doesn't really prevent the enemy AI from like settling good cities. It'll just make it so that Russia and Canada aren't going to have the best of times. And really, it's not going to make the whole map desert, right? So he does have an advantage. He can settle more cities, which will allow him to make use of his Song of Jelly promotion, as well as the Suguba. But really, in all honesty, it's not going to really put him at that much of an advantage. So that's why I give him the honorable mention. If you're playing Mansa Musa, definitely go for a hot map mode, but it's really not going to be like as big of an advantage as the other 4 boosts. Number 1, this one should be obvious. We got, where is he? We got João the Conqueror of Portugal on an archipelago map. A huge archipelago map, the biggest size you can make, an enormous map. This is damn near unstoppable. For those of you who don't know, Portugal gets 1 trade route capacity for every civilization they meet. Their trade routes must go to an enemy coastal city or another AI's coastal city. International trade routes cannot be sent to inland cities. However, they have 50% extra range over water, and they receive 50% towards all yields. Not to mention, once you have the Feitoria, you will get more gold and production, and the navigation school will, well, not the navigation school, but the now will allow you to place more Feitorias. The thing with Portugal is that in the mid-game, and by mid-game, I literally mean like before turn 100, you will be making 40 gold per trade route. That is not a typo. That is literally what is going to happen. With the biggest map possible, an enormous... this isn't even the biggest, right? That's 16. You can add 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. Wow, okay. You can add 40 civs on an enormous map, and while you won't have the most amount of cities, it doesn't matter. 40, let's say some civs get taken out before you meet them. 35 extra trade routes, along with, let's say you settle 5 or 6 cities, you're going to be getting at least 40 trade routes. Do the math now. 40 times, let's say, in the late game, 50 gold per trade route. That's a lot of gold. 40 times 10 science per trade route. That's a lot of science. 40 times 10 culture. That's a lot of culture. Portugal on an archipelago map is by far the best civ in the entire game. It isn't even a competition. The only other civ who comes close is Babylon on a regular map, but on an archipelago, I am going to have to give it to Zhao the Conqueror because of all these yields he's going to be getting. He can easily stop an enemy biplane or even an enemy bombard rush just by buying hundreds of different units, and he's going to have so much science that he probably isn't too far behind in any case. So yeah, archipelago map, Zhao the Conqueror, number 1. It is not even a competition. Thank you guys so much for watching up to this point. There is going to be a new Vietnam series later out today. And I'm also going to be doing some Chivalry 2 later. Yes, the new game that came out. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Did not think it was... I could have even added more civs. I can add even more civs. Oh my god, I think... Okay, the game almost crashed. But yeah, I can literally add, I think, every single civ. So you can have 50 civs. That is so massive on this type of map. But yeah, if you enjoyed and want to help out the channel, like, comment, and subscribe. We're closing in on 8K and hopefully 10K. And then after that, we are gunning for PewDiePie. So, yeah, and without further ado, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.